What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Just Podding Around. I'm your host, Race Williams, and today we're diving into AEW WrestleDream 2025 live from Shea Fetz Arena in St. Louis, Missouri. This was the third annual WrestleDream honoring Antonio Inoki, the NJPW founder, and mate, the crowd was absolutely unhinged. St. Louis came to party. We had tailgate matches, surprise returns, heel turns, chaos, and one of the wildest main events AEW's ever put on. So grab a drink, kick back, and let's break this thing down. The pre-show kicked off with 4 matches on TNT. AEW called it the Tailgate Brawls, and they lived up to the name. First up, Death Riders versus Roderick Strong and the Conglomeration. Park got the pin on Tomohiro Ishii. The crowd made sure Wheeler Yuta knew exactly what they felt. Chants of "fuck you, Yuta" echoing through the arena. Pure chaos. Then we got Hook and Eddie Kingston versus the Frat House. And mate, this one didn't last long. Hook and the Mad King basically flattened the poor blokes in 2 minutes. They might as well have been tackling crash test dummies. Next up, Harley Cameron and Willow Nightingale versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. High flying, high energy, and the crowd chanting "This is awesome" halfway through. Willow sealed the deal with a powerbomb on Ford for the win. And to cap off the pre-show, FTR versus Jet Speed. A tag match with the tag team, which is the tag team of Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. It was stiff, fast, and classic FTR. Near falls galore, but Dax and Cash came out on top. Alright, that was the warm-up. Now let's get into the main card, where things got spicy. Opening the show, we had Jamie Hayter versus Thekla. No interference, no shenanigans, just Hayter doing what Hayter does, beating people up. She finished Thekla with a brutal Haters 8 lariat, and celebrated with Queen Aminata afterward. Hayter's clearly gearing up for another title chase, no question. Then came the $500,000 tag team match. Jurassic Express, who only just got back together, versus the Young Bucks. Mate, and this one was bonkers. Jack Perry and Luchasaurus pulled out all the stops and hit their countdown to extinction finisher on Matt Jackson for the pin, pocketing $500,000. But the post-match, that's where the real story kicked in. Don Callis family members Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, and Mark Davis ran in and jumped Jurassic Express. The Bucks did nothing, they just stood there. Then boom, Kenny Omega's music hits. The crowd loses their minds, Omega storms the ring, clears house, and helps Perry and Luchasaurus up. Perry even offers to split the $500K with the Bucks. They refuse. Massive tease for an Omega Jurassic Alliance. Next up, we got the Tornado Trio's #1 contenders match between the Hurt Syndicate and the Demand. Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP, yes, that's the Hurt Syndicate, took on Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. Lashley speared Khan out of his boots for the pin. They are now your #1 contenders for the AEW Trios titles. Then came the TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe. This one was straight up brutality. Fletcher survived Briscoe's froggy bow splash and hit a top turnbuckle brainbuster to win. Fletcher's still champ and Cutler's still smirking his slimy little grin backstage. Then we had Chris Statlander defending her AEW Women's World Championship against Timeless Toni Storm. Statlander hit her Area 450 splash to retain, and Storm looked shocked. You could see it. She thought that was her night. Spoiler, it wasn't. And out came Mercedes Moné, doing a TBS Open Challenge. Her opponent, Mina Shirakawa. And in true Moné fashion, she wins with a dodgy roll-up. Feet on the ropes, of course. Adds another title to her collection, and then bam, Statlander hits the ring, powerbombs Moné, and walks off holding both belts. Full Gear main women's feud? Yeah, it's on. Then we had the AEW World Tag Team title match. Bandito, which is Bandito and Brody King, versus Kazuchika Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. Bandito retained after Bandito nailed the 21 plex on Okada for the pin. But here's the kicker. After the match, Okada and Takeshita started arguing. Cracks forming in the Don Callis family. That's gonna blow up soon. Then the AEW World Championship match. Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe. Incredible match. Two bulls just throwing hands. Hangman finally put Joe away with a buckshot lariat. But before he could even celebrate, Joe's partners Hobbs and Shibata hit the ring and powerbombed Page on the title. Samoa Joe turns heel and joins the Ops. Leaves Page laid up. And that's your next big feud right there. Page versus Joe and the Ops. Then you got the main event. The I Quit match between Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. This main event was insane. Like core therapist levels of violence. Moxley used a belt, a taser, and even tried to drown Allin in an aquarium of water. Fans were chanting, "This is murder." And honestly, they weren't far off. Then lights out, lights back on, Sting. The Sting is standing in the ring, bat in hand, staring down Moxley, and the crowd exploded. Sting smashes the aquarium, Allin grabs a bat, hits the Scorpion Death Drop, and locks Mox in Deathlock on the broken glass. Moxley screams "I quit", Darby wins, Sting helps him up, pure goosebumps. That was Sting's first AEW pay-per-view appearance since his retirement run. And what a way to do it. So what does this mean for AEW moving forward? Samoa Joe's turned heel and is now gunning for Hangman. The Hurt Syndicate are your next trio's title challengers. Statlander and Mercedes Moné are heading for a showdown at Full Gear. And Omega might be forming a super team with Jack Perry and Luchasaurus to take on the Bucks and the Callis family. Meanwhile, Moxley's future? Totally up in the air. Dude might need a holiday after that match. Fans loved it, critics too. The Jurassic Express Bucks match pulled an 8.4 out of 10 by 411 Mania, and social media was going nuts. Hashtags like WrestleDream and This Is Murder were trending. Sure, some fans said the main event was a little too far, but hey, it's Darby Allin versus Jon Moxley. You knew it's going to be a friendly arm. You knew it wasn't going to be a friendly arm wrestle. All up, WrestleDream 2025 was classic AEW. Violent, unpredictable, and packed with storytelling seeds for the months ahead. We got a returning Sting, a healed Samoa Joe, and Omega back in the mix. The crowd was on fire all night, and AEW clearly knows how to keep their fans invested. Next stop, Full Gear. Statlander versus Moné, Page versus Joe, and whatever madness Don Callis is cooking up next. That's it for today's breakdown. If you enjoyed it, make sure you follow the pod, drop a rating, and hit me on socials with your WrestleDream thoughts. Who had match of the night for you? Darby versus Mox or Jurassic Park Express versus the Bucks? I'm Race, this is Just Putting Around, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, keep it real, keep it restless, and remember, in AEW, nobody stays friends for long.